This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you're like me, someone who gets stuck in their head a lot, BetterHelp might be the answer. And right now, if you visit betterhelp.com/sold separately or use the link in this video's description, you can get 10% off your first month. So give it a try. Remember, you can't take care of anyone else in your life until you take care of yourself.
And now, on with the show.
Hi, my name's Larry Lawton, biggest jewel thief in the United States, and my happiness is helping young people not make the bad choices I made.
Well, hello, Larry Lawton. Thanks so much for being on the show today. I know that we've been trying to connect, and I'm just really blessed that you're here with me today.
Thanks for having me, Jason. I appreciate it, and keep doing what you're doing, man. We need more voices out there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just like you, we're trying to do something positive out there and help some people out. So hopefully, when you hear other people's stories and you've got an amazing one, hopefully it helps some people maybe that are struggling or going through something similar. So yeah, so we'll get into it. Ever since I started the show,
that part because you said it exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. We got to talk about that because I think anytime you have an example, it helps people. I think people are struggling out there, especially right now. The world is so divided.
Well, what gets me, Jason, the divided world. I listen, my podcast we were a top 1% podcast, and I took probably almost a year off, maybe 6 months off. So I'm coming back next week. I got a couple of big guests, and I had the libertarian presidential candidate on my show, and he was freaked out. But but my thing, Jason, is I think I got out of prison at 46 years old, and I was in debt. I had nothing. I had a worse record than most anybody will think of, and I changed. And you could change. I started my life again at 46, and I tell young people, 30 years old, I can't make it. Is that stop it? That's quitting. Listen, we don't need quitters. We need people who figure it out. And that's why I'm a believer in young people, to be honest, because a lot of the young people, they do it differently. And as I tell people who are my age range, that, listen, man, we don't know the answers, but these young people are going to figure them out. We did, and they're going to. And I don't want people to feel like it's over when they fail. I failed many, many times. I've been a millionaire 3 times over. Meaning I've got it and lost it, got it and lost it, and you start building. And that's just life. And I think it's the journey that you have to really like. I love the journey. And that's what I think makes most people.
You're exactly right. I think we're missing some of that today with young people. They want it, but I feel like the first roadblock they hit, they sometimes give up and say, well, this is not working, so I'll just quit. But your whole life has been figuring it out. Your whole life has been.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean, I was just saying, like every story I've heard and everything that I've ever seen you talk about, it's always figuring it out. If something's in the way from your life before prison, but then even in prison, we want to do this. And I've always been fascinated with how people in prison can figure it out and make things like a tattoo gun or make something like a burner for us, like to cook something. I mean, it's just, you had no other choice, right?
It's funny because we used to call, MacGyver had nothing on us. We could, young people who don't know who MacGyver is, they'll have to look him up. They tried to stop us from shooting what they call kites under the door in the hole. The hole it's called the special housing unit, the SHU. What's special about it? I don't know. It's the hole for anybody who knows what they're talking about. But when you're in the hole, you have zero. You're pretty much 24/7. I love when they say 23, but we give you an hour. You know how many times they don't give you that hour? More than you can count. And they have a phrase that just handles that by saying, for the safe and orderly running of the institution, we have to cancel recreation. For the safe and orderly running of the institution, we don't have to feed you. They only technically have to feed you 2 times, by law. But so you get to you learn in your own way that, you know, when you think they can't do something or somebody can't do something. I used to love, as a guy who did law and have a law degree, and I did law for 10 years. Guys would come in and say, they can't do that to me, Larry. They can't do that. I said, stop. This country went into Panama, took the president out, made him a drug dealer, and my friend was in the same prison as him in Miami. And that was Manuel Noriega, Noriega, wasn't it? Yeah. And from Panama. And they made him a drug dealer. Now, was he a drug dealer? Come on. Let's stop with the propaganda. You want to call Ronald Reagan a drug dealer with their Iran-Contra affair? I mean,
right.
They were selling drugs for hostages and money. And so I look at it and say, they can't do that to you? Oh, you're right. But they do it. And what are you going to do about it? That's the key. When most people quit, you know, it's a shame I see as a guy who's 64. A lot of young people, I don't know how old you are, Jason, but
I'm 53, so.
There you go. Then you're close.
Yeah.
They quit right when they get to the door. And I mean our age. I'm not talking about our age, you know, even, you know, they're 50, I can't do it. And they're one success away from hitting that big break, whatever it's going to take.
Yeah.
I'm doing a deal. You know, I've got offered to sell my story many times, and I haven't done it because it wasn't right. In my own way, like they didn't have the right budget. I don't want to be portrayed wrong. I have a meeting next week with a pretty big company. And if it goes right, we would like to do a whole series, like an 8-part series, you know, on national TV. And it's just about a story about redemption. You know, we all fuck up. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. We all fuck up. It's how you rebound that really matters.
Yep.
You know, because I even say this. I don't like to work with people who. I love people who made mistakes and keep going. Because I tell the guys who work for me, I say, if you don't make mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. Yeah. Now, if you keep making the same mistake over and over, we got an issue. But if you're trying something new, and I had a guy last night, and sure enough, he made him he's apologized. I said, stop. Don't worry about it. Figure it out. Figure it yourself out. And we'll get it. And that's all there is to it. And he goes, wow. I said, listen, it's not about mistakes. Just don't make it again. He goes, I go, I'll bet you'll think about that twice. And he goes, I'm going to think about that 3 times before I do it. So he learned a lesson. And if you can even give lessons to people and impart lessons on young people, I think that's really important.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we had, I think, coming up in our age, you know, that was just, I think we were just raised a little differently, or we just tried to figure it out more. I mean, I think kids now have all the technology, and it's a little different for them because with AI and other stuff, it's some of that's kind of done for them, but there seemed to be a little bit more grit back in our days, you know. Well,
I don't know about that. You know, I was at a meeting. I'll tell you, I was on a board with the Department of Justice. It's called the Weed and Seed Program. And now it was a department that had a big budget for helping communities weed out the bad, weed out drug dealers, weed out the bad, and implant programs like mine, the reality check program or whatever.
Right.
And it was very well done. They defunded it, of course, you know, that never lasts. But what I used to, you know, when I was in that department, I was at a big board meeting, and we had all these chiefs of police. We're up in Washington, the big oak table, all that shit. And one of the cops in there, you know, says, chief of police, and he says, if some of these young people we just got to give up on, we're not going to change them. And I get up and I take my phone, I slam it on the table, and I said, who in this room can program their phone quicker than their 15-year-old kid? They're all looking at me. I said, here's what we do. Me, at the time I was 50, it was about 10 years ago. So I was 50, whatever, 53, your age. I says, what do? I open the phone. I look at the directions. I hit it. I get there, hit it, get there. And it's great. I'm there. You know what my daughter does? She takes the phone, plays with it, reboots it a few times, and has the same result, probably quicker. What does that tell us? It tells us that they learn differently. Yeah. We're not always right. And that's what I try to emphasize on guys our age. You know, before we say anything about do it this way, don't step back for a second and look at it from their eyes and say, is it the best way?
That's
Because
true.
how many generations have said this is the best way, and we keep changing things to make it better. So it's not all our way. And I try to emphasize that on anybody who deals with younger people. That's why I'm not our school system's fucked up.
Yeah.
There's so many things wrong with it. I'll get into that. And from curriculum and teaching people the same way when they're all different, not highlighting talents that you might think the kid's crazy, but he's really a very talented man.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't know how to communicate. And so, we can't put people in boxes, especially today. Obviously, I make my whole staff, everybody, use AI an hour a day, no matter what, just to learn the prompts and this and everything to do it. And, people say, well, it's going to destroy the world. It might be, but at least on the ride there, I'm going to be knowing what I'm doing on it.
Hey, it's a great tool, if you use it the right way, it takes a lot of the busy work away from your day. I mean, you can get things done quicker.
Oh, totally. And again, you still, no matter what you do with it, and I use it, is you have to double check. You have to rewrite.
Mm-hmm.
You can't narrow it, say, nah, take these words out. It just gets all screwed up yet. Maybe it'll be perfect someday. I don't know. But no matter what, you have to check it, and it's got to come from who you are. Like dealing with production companies or dealing with other businesses. They know it. Listen, if you send me an AI email, I probably will know it. Mm-hmm. Unless it's changed to be you. And I think that's important. I don't mind an AI email because I know someone had to prompt it. I know someone has to still do the work to get it there and everything else.
Yeah. Just to bring people back up to speed, people that may not know your story. At one time, and it may still be the case, I don't know, you have to tell me, you were considered the largest jewel thief of the United States. Is that right? Is that still hold true?
Am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody's robbed as much or as long as I did. I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm bragging about crime. Well, it is, but it is what it is. You have to deal with things in life. I'm still known as the biggest jewel robber in the United States. Robbing 18 million or more between 25, 30 stores. My life is a pretty crazy life than most people's. And that again, I deal with a lot of judges now, and they say, you have a reason to be bitter. I said, no, I don't. Because I was tortured. I was abused as a kid at 11, tortured in prison, literally strapped down, naked, beaten, tortured. I'll send you my book. I'll shoot you the PDF of it. I sent the producers and stuff. It's a wild ride, 100% true, vetted by every agency. Remember, you can't go on all these news shows and get recognized on the floor of Congress and be an honor without them vetting you.
Oh yeah,
to the max. And people ask me all the time, "Hey Larry, you doing an interview? You do this? You don't even prepare. You're out, hanging out, and then you come in. You got to do a show. I said, listen, I talk only things I know.
Yeah,
I am not going to talk about I don't know, the stars or something in astrology or something. I don't know it. And I'm not going to put myself out there. If it's crime, if it's life lessons, if it's street life or business life, if I lived it, I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you my thoughts. If not, I'll tell you, nah, that's not my realm, And I think everybody should do that.
Yeah, speak to what you know and double down on that. And you definitely know these things in life. And one thing I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if I've ever known the answer to this, when you were robbing or getting into crime like that, was the life and organized crime, did they seek you out, or were you doing that for them? How did that all come together?
Good question. When I was 12 years old, I started working. Matter of fact, I saw the guy. A friend of mine knows the guy that I worked for. He was 20. His father was a big, big, wise guy. And in New York City, I was making, do you know what football tickets are?
Like for betting?
Right. You bet 3 games, you put $1, you bet 3, you get 5, you put $1, you bet 4, games, you win 10. Well, I used to do those tickets in 1972. And I remember it was 11, then 12, 13. I'm making about $125 every week back then.
Wow.
And I was going from door to door to the electrician, to the plumbers, to the business owner, to the cop, to the, whoever it was. And they put $3 in it. And I collected, and you got 25% of what you collected. So if you collect $500, you get $125. So my goal was always $500 in collections. And then I'm rooting for them all to win because they would give you a tip.
Yeah.
If the guy wins, he puts $5, he wins $50, he's going to give you a couple bucks or whatever. And I was a hustler. So, and this is in a neighborhood in the Bronx that you're either mobsters or cops or, sanitation men. You were that's what we lived. That's all it was.
It's all blue collar, right?
Blue collar and gangsters, I mean, straight gangsters. And, then I went into service. I was robbing cars. I was doing everything you shouldn't do when you were a kid. We were making $500 to rob a car. And it was crazy how we came up with stuff. And we ended up gambling on the streets ourselves. We had a kid in what they call we had a store called Pathmark. And in the Pathmark, we had guys that worked in there, and they would put the lobsters and the steaks out in the back. So at night, we'd come around and pick them up out of a secure place, and then we'd sell it to other shops along the whole avenue. It was like, it was just the way it was.
Yeah.
And I went to the service to get out of that, and I ended up getting hurt in the Coast Guard, and I retired from the Coast Guard. I was in there for almost 8 years. And I ended up getting hurt pretty bad, and I'm retired. And what do? I get right back into the life. Like, the guys knew who I was. Oh, there's that kid. He was a hustler. Now I'm a big guy, pretty strong. So they started me out working. I was working muscle for a card game, at the door. And me and another guy. And I'm talking a big-time card game. Back then, you had to go in there with 10,000. So people coming in, and they'd go down the basement, and it was literally a full casino, Jason. It was crazy.
Wow.
And then I learned the bookmaking business, the real bookmaking business. And then I learned the what they call the shylocking business, or loan sharking. And that's how I bought bars, and that's how I ended up, getting a lot of money. I was always an entrepreneur, I guess.
Yeah.
But, in my business, I laugh at young kids that work with me, and I give them so many shots. I said, you guys are lucky, because if this was my time, they didn't just fire you, number one. And you guys just don't get that part of it. And I try to teach that part to them. I teach a very good lesson in this, and you'll like this. When I was in that life, I remember I was making a lot of money. I mean, millions and stuff. I had my own crew in South Florida. I'm doing well. And I'd go back and forth to New York, to do business and stuff, get rid of stuff, and had all my connections. I get a phone call from my boss, who's a wise guy, says, hey, Larry, it's a Thursday. Says, Larry, be here tomorrow. See Dominic at 9 o'clock at Cards. That's it. Hung the phone up. I didn't say why, where, can I come Monday? I got on a plane, bought a ticket, because that's what back then it was easy to go to the airport. You could have an alias. It was just so different.
No checks or anything back then.
Oh, nothing. And so I got a ticket. I went there, and I'll never forget, because whenever I went to New York, they would drop me off at Kennedy Airport. We had our own car service called My Way Car Service. It was a gangster car, it was actual car service back then. And they'd pick me up. The guy would give me a gun, because I couldn't travel with a gun. And I'd have my gun, and I'm already cursing the whole damn place out because I hated it. I was up the Belt Parkway in the dirt, the shit on the side of the road. There I'm in sunny Florida. I get to the club where our crew was, and I'm playing cards with the big boss all day. Now, this is a guy that was a captain in the Gambinos, and he literally was right under one of Paul Castellano's guys, if you think about that.
Yeah.
And I've been at a house. I've been to the White House, they call it. It was a big in Toad Hill in Staten Island. So anyway, I go up there, and he's playing it. My boss actually was with Murder Incorporated before that. I mean, if anybody knows anything about the mob, they'll look things up. That was with Albert Anastasia. But he was a little guy, but very feared, very powerful guy. He loved me. He just loved me. He thought I was a crazy kid. He called me the kid. Hey, kid, be careful. Hey, kid, be careful. And I'm giving him diamonds, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Hey, kid. Every mobster in New York at a place had my diamonds. But he said, you know, I'd see him that day, play cards, and that guy owned the third largest bus company in the country, and he cared about $100 gin game. But whatever, you know, he was a great guy too, though. Saved me many times. And anyway, we go out to dinner that night, Friday night. Though everybody goes, this is movie stuff. We'd pull up on the sidewalk, and you know, they had a table right near the exit room. 9, 10 guys around this table. That night we go play cards. Friday, Saturday, I come in. I see my kid. I had my son at that time up there in Brooklyn. And sure enough, I go back on Sunday. Willie says, Dominic told me, he said, Friday night, hey, kid, have a good trip back. That was it. Nothing was said. I don't know what was going on. 6 months later, I said, hey, Willie, that's my boss who's under him. I said, hey, Willie, Dom asked me up here the other, while back. He didn't say anything. Did I do something wrong or something? He goes, no, Larry, you passed a very important lesson. And I didn't. What do you mean? He goes, he was testing you. He wanted to see where your loyalties lay. Are you going to give him anything? Can I come up Saturday and not Friday? I have something going on. So he tested me, and I passed with flying colors. Obviously, I didn't say a word. I did. I was there. And I didn't know this. So what I did with my guys after that, I had back when that happened, they didn't have anything. No beepers, no this, nothing. No ESPN, none of this shit.
Right.
Yeah, we had sports phone. So then what I did was I made it, when I had my crew there, we had beepers. You remember beepers were the big. I remember when I had the first cell phone, I had to look like a G.I. Joe. I had a strap.
Oh, yeah. Those things were huge.
Oh, my God. I think, what an asshole I was. So I looked back and I took my crew and I said to them, I said, listen, guys, here's, they all have beepers. I said, you will always answer your beeper unless you are dead or in jail. Only reason you're not answering your beeper. If I find out otherwise, no problem. One day, a guy that worked for me, he was right hand man, one of them, not Tommy, the another one. And I built the whole clubhouse, beautiful clubhouse, 3 rooms, a bar in the end, limo, I had all works. And I was texting the guy. It was 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. So he's not answering. I'm getting mad. I'm thinking I needed him for something, but it was more of a test. I ended up going to the clubhouse at 5 in the morning, and he's laying. We had a pull-out couch. He's in the couch. I took a .357 Magnum Silver, big gun. I pointed to his head. He's sleeping. Boom, boom, right near his head. He literally, I'm not kidding you, Jason, he hit the ceiling.
I bet.
This fucking kid hit the ceiling, and he was shaking, and it was a lesson enough. I didn't talk to him. I said, you're lucky you're not dead. And he knew it. And he talks about that to this day.
Wow.
Like I talk about the lesson that I got.
Yeah.
And it's lessons like that my dad taught me. Listen, if your time and the person's time you're dealing with is important. I really respect you because the other day we communicated. You couldn't make it for the tech issues. Today I was going to be 10 minutes late. We communicated.
Yeah.
For me not to say anything and just pop on, that's not respecting your time. And I wouldn't do that. I don't care about anybody. Nobody's better than another man. Right. If I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. If I don't because something happened, hey, Jason, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. This would happen.
Yeah.
And that's called respecting people's time, respecting people. That's where I think more people, and that's not even young people. Yeah. That's people our age that just think, oh, listen, I have family members that are just, and I get so mad at them. I tell them, listen, if I have a dinner here and you're not showing up on time, I'm starting dinner. I don't give a fuck.
Right. Right. And you told them what time it is and you expect everybody to show up at the
time. I mean, yes. And if you're going to be late, you could say, I mean, if it's a big family dinner, but don't be more. Yes, someone's showing up an hour and a half late. What the fuck are you?
Just walk in. Yeah.
Yeah. Respect everybody's time.
Yeah.
But that's just life lessons. I call those, and I think more people need them.
And I think, not to say that, oh, everybody should be involved in organized crime, but I think there are certain things that I'm sure you learned in that life that maybe you even use in your businesses today, like just the structure and keeping everybody organized. And it's not no crime. I don't want people to get misunderstand this, but no crime involved, but just the way that you operate. I think there's some similarities in, like, you just learn to be tough when you need to, but also be kind. It's like your crew is your crew, and you're supposed to respect each other. And are there any similarities? Have you ever thought about that with your businesses and like some of the skills you learned back in the day?
Everything. When you just said that, my brain is going crazy. 100%. And that's, my dad, I was very, very close with my dad, and he ended up dying of Alzheimer's when I got out. It was very sad. But, he didn't really get to see my success, so to speak. He saw the crime success. He didn't see the other success. But, most things come from those lessons from those guys. And again, it's not crime, because I'm not a crime. Actually, I'm a bad manager. And that's the truth. I mean, I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. I'm a little bit too easy because of what I went through. I don't want to see people go through stuff. And I give probably too many breaks, but I still, I never want to lose that compassion or that empathy or things I have for people, period. Yeah. I will, and I try to tell people, you're going to get burned a lot in life. It just happened. I just got burned big. I'm not going to stop giving. I'm not going to stop giving breaks and trying to help people. It's just, I don't want to be jaded by the negative. I want to stay positive by people who are, people, we don't know what everybody goes through. Everybody has their own story. I don't care. I've dealt with mega actors and billionaires, and I don't care. We'll sit down and smoke a cigar, and you find out they got the same problems you got.
Yeah.
That might not be a financial problem, but even financial problems will get themselves to work every day. I learned things in prison. You got a roof over your head. You got food in your belly. You got air. You know what? You'll survive. And you don't know what you can survive until you're put to that test.
Yeah.
Happen to be put to that test. I don't want anybody to have to be put to that test.
Yeah, you don't want to go down that road. Yeah.
No, wow. I was in the hole for 3 years, a year straight in a hole. You go crazy. I had a rope around my neck, Jason. That I tell that. And I was probably seconds from killing myself. And it wasn't the hole, it was not knowing.
Yeah.
The hole wasn't the issue to me. I mean, if I get fought, had issues in prison, it's going to happen. They're going to give you a DHO, and you're going to go to get 30 days in the hole and lose commissary or whatever. You have a date, even 60 days. When they tell you you're in the hole for investigation, there's no date. You could be there, and they do that, and it is the most unsettling thing. We're human. We're social people. And people have no idea what isolation will do to you. And
tell people what we're talking about. The hole is, how big is the cell?
Well, it depends. I was in one hole, was 8 foot by 6 foot. Most holes are a little bigger, probably 8 by 11, something like that. And you'll have 2 guys in it a lot of times.
Wow.
And sometimes it's none. I've seen 3 guys in those holes. In fact, one case that you can look them up, they had 3 guys in the cell that size, and 2 of them were murderers. The other guy was a bank robber who was getting out of prison, and they killed him, and they took his intestines out and put his intestines around the whole door. I mean, wow. That crazy? There's your clipping moment. My editor says, Larry, make sure you give him some clipping moments. Yes. I said, what do you tell? He goes, it's called clip farming. I said, I just talk so you go, you'll get it.
Yeah, we'll pull them out for sure. That
do what you want. You'll have enough.
And we're talking about the only really interaction you would have was be like when they bring chow around, right? Or a razor.
Yeah, exactly. They'll put a razor around twice a week sometimes, and then we'd steal them. And I did videos on how we did it and how we put, paper and all that in the razor and making shanks and, again, MacGyver stuff. But no, you end up, we communicated with the guy next to a sad story I might have heard. A good friend of mine was in a cell next to me. and we were both in single cells. And we used to work out. We used to do burpees and massive workout routines. But I got some good. I have to send you a picture so you can put that up. Wow,
I love that. Yeah.
I was in boom. I just showed someone at the last meeting. He goes, damn, right. Yeah, I was doing 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 crunches in an hour. 1 hour.
Wow. Well, you didn't have a lot else to do, right? Read or work out.
No. You know, I've learned that too. You know, I was very strong with weights when they had them. Then they took them off the yard. And, you know, I think I got in better shape when I had no weights.
Really?
Because body exercises are the best thing you can do, period. Whether it's pull-ups, chip, dips, pull-ups, push-ups. Push-ups is probably the single best exercise you can do, period.
You're lifting your own weight up and
all the time. And we do so many and then we used to do dips off of a railing, like like the top railing on the second tier.
Yeah.
We get over and you're holding the corners. So you're going up and down. If you flunk out, you're going down. I seen a guy break his leg, but we'd have guys try to hold you. Try to hold the guy who's 200 and X pounds when he can't hold himself. I mean, you better be smart enough to stop before that happens.
Would the guards let you do that if they saw you doing it? Would they just let you?
They'd say, no, hey, we're going to throw you, we'd do it anyway. We figure shit out.
Yeah.
We would do pull-ups, Jason, with our fingers on the back of stairs and on the back of a ledge.
Oh, wow.
Pull-up, boy,
hardcore
you got
stuff.
so strong, natural strength. And I think it was better working out that way than even weights. And I can never hit 400 with the bench, so I used to get pissed when I was a young kid. But I don't even do it. I often tell young people today, don't do weights. I mean, my joints, you believe me.
Yeah.
I hurt. It is a lot of things I wish I didn't do. And body exercises are the best thing by far. I mean, they'll tell you how to do things. It's all discipline. It's just getting up and doing it. Do the first push-up. And when I went to prison, I started doing 10 push-ups. Ended up doing 1,000 push-ups in an hour.
And
crunches in an hour. I used to do set of 60, 30 every minute, 30. And then when I wasn't doing the push-ups, crunches. 30, and it was just, then we did burpees. Burpees is a routine that's just wild. And I learned that from the Mexican mafia, actually.
Oh, wow.
And they would do that and literally, when I got out of prison, I'm going to show you, I'm going to send you the picture.
Yeah, I love seeing
When I got out of prison, I went to a gym, and it's one of these CrossFit gyms. All these great athletes, they said. I bet anybody in the whole place that they couldn't do this routine. Not one person came close to it. The instructors go, holy shit. Because it hits so many muscles, burpees. And it was called the 5-4-3-2 routine. And you do 25 5s, 25 down. So you do up 25, 4, 20, nonstop. You used to do them in our underwear. And literally your boxes, you could take them and wring them out.
I'll bet.
Unbelievable,
man. And doing that, you gain the strength, and you also burn up some of the day too. I'm sure you're just like got to do something just to get yourself worn out.
Not really, to be honest, because I'm a big reader. To this day, I'm a very big reader. Now it's usually business and stuff like that. But as a reader, and working on a law, I got my law degree in prison, and I can't be a lawyer. I can't take the bar. But I got the credits and all that. And so we helped a lot of people. So we worked the law library. In fact, it was like I didn't have enough time almost. You think, oh, man. Then you keep thinking, then you got to get yourself in to do something. Otherwise, you could go literally crazy. When you go to prison, first of all, anybody who goes to prison for a long time like I did, the first 2 years are a blur. You don't even know what's going on for the first 2 years. Literally 2 years. It's not like you're doing a sentence for 6 months or a year or two. When you're doing over a decade of time, you got to acclimate yourself, and you got to put the outside world in its own place.
Yeah.
If you don't, you'll drive yourself crazy. And I see many people literally go crazy, hang themselves, do some wild stuff. And I mean, I've watched guys killing. I mean, there's a story I talk about the drug dealer. A guy comes into the cell and we're all hanging out. And the guy was a drug dealer in prison. And heroin is rampant. Guy comes in, he goes, we're all hanging out, eating. And this guy comes in, he goes, hey, Rita, I need 5 papers of heroin.
Mm.
And now we knew the guy didn't have money or whatever, and he owed Reno, is the guy. Reno looked at him, and Reno was a 3-time murderer, killer. I mean, I'm thinking, oh, shit, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Reno looked at him, and I'm like, me and another guy were in the bunk, and he was on his sitting on with his feet on the seat. He's sitting on the table, little table, if you want to call it a steel table against the wall. And he looked at him, and we're just silent. And the guy said to him, just like this, he goes, I can't pay you.
Mm.
I'm like, here we go. I mean, this guy was a killer, straight killer. I taught him how to be a bookie. I'll tell you, that's a funny story. So anyway, he ended up looking at me. He goes, I'm checking out. And, because I lost my appeals, I'm done.
Mm.
So he's going to go kill himself. He's telling us.
Mm. He's letting it be known that that's what's going on.
Reno looked at him, literally said, gives him the papers of heroin. Says, if you're not dead in the morning, I'm going to kill you. And meant every single word of that. Gave me chills.
Wow.
And the guy was dead in the morning.
So he did go through with it.
He killed himself.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of that. And I understand it. I would never do it because the will to live is just, or you wonder why a guy with 3 life sentences wants to live. But is a will? I was close, and I mean that just because I had no idea what was going on. Mm. It was like they were putting a hood over me, and I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. The wardens would come around during their weekly, they'd come around. We used to call it the dog and pony show. Mm-hmm. The warden, the assistant warden, the captains, the counselors they come to your cell and all, how you doing? How the fuck you think I'm doing, you jerk off? Get the fuck off my door. Get out of here. What the fuck? I don't give a shit he's the warden. I'm in the hole. What do you do to me now?
Yeah.
Or how you doing?
I'm doing great.
How the fuck am I doing? I'm under investigation. When am I fucking getting out of this place? And nothing. It's I think isolation was worse. I think when I went crazy in the hole and I was beaten and tortured, you know about that. If the audience, I was beaten and tortured for about 7 months. Every single month, they'd come down. The first time you go crazy in prison. So what happened was they would come down. If you cover your window, there's a window in the cell. There's not doors, not bar doors. They had that in Atlanta, the old cell, Al Capone's cell. I was actually in that. You would go in the cell, and if you cover your window inside the cell, they get pissed because they don't want to know what's going on. So they'd come to the door. Lord, take the thing now. Fuck you. Lord, take the thing. And then what do? The first time they do it, we're coming in with the squad. They call it a goon squad. They come in to get you. And when they come in with 4 or 5 guys, 7 foot tall, huge monsters with electric shields, helmets, and I punching them. What am I doing? Am I crazy? I broke my hand twice. So they're coming. The first time they do it, I put the cover and they fuck you. Yeah. They open. Now it takes a process. The first one that comes to you is they call it the shoe lieutenant or the whole lieutenant, the shoe specialized lieutenant. Then they come with your counsel. Then they come with all the way up to the captain. Says, the last warning, sending in the team. Oh, yeah, fuck you too, captain. I don't give a shit. They would open up the chute door. That's the place where they feed you. It's the slot where it goes down and opens up. And that's where they put the food through the door. Really animal style. So they opened the door on me, and they sprayed me with mace right in my face. I'm on the floor. Water, snot coming out. And forget it. They drag you out, strip you naked, and then 4-point you. Literally, strap you naked. You're there. Forget it. You better forget about all kind of dignity when you're in prison, from being searched every day, spreading your ass, all the shit they do to you, lift your nut. So forget that. I don't care. It has not, you just lose that. It's sad, but you do. It's to this day, I lost it. And and they leave you there, and they leave you there for hours. They're not supposed to 4 hours the most. They didn't do 4, about 3.5, whatever. You go, forget it. Man, look, I'm getting goosebumps, man, because I am so claustrophobic today.
Yeah.
I can't get in an open MRI machine. I even get freaky on a plane sometimes.
I'm the same way. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like being closed up. And then,
oh my God, it just drives me nuts.
Now, where were you at this point when they had you 4 pointed out? Were you still in the shoe, or did they take you to another room?
No, you're in the shoe. You're in the shoe. They have a cell there with a bed. Well, it's a piece of metal, not a bed, not even cushion under it. And it's got hooks on each end, and they handcuff each leg. Literally spread eagle on this thing.
Dang.
So then they take you back. They put you back in the cell. What do? Do it again. I said, I got these motherfuckers. So I take my car to Lawton. You flooded your cell. They shut the water off. They do everything. I take my mattress. They're these little thin mattresses, right? So I put the mattress up against the door because I know they're going to try to spray me. They take a broom handle. They push the broom handle into the mattress, and they drop a concussion grenade.
Oh, my gosh.
Boom! You literally go out. I didn't know what hit me. You just, your equilibrium is gone, and concussion grenade. Come in, take you out. Dang. This is when they spit on me, and it's in the book too. One of them, because I was writing senators, I was writing people. I learned the best thing I did learn in prison is I was as a fighter myself. Mm-hmm. You can't beat them.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who you are. You cannot. I don't give a fuck who you are, Jason. You cannot beat them.
Yeah.
And I learned that in prison, and the pen is mightier than the sword. Legal. And I got senators. I got my family involved. Thank God I was blessed to have family that loved me. Never liked what I did, but they understood and they believed in me, and they knew my heart was in the right place. Not that, you know what I mean? I had it. And I learned, though, one guy spit on my face, and the other guy took his dick out and peed on me. It's all in there, all documented by the FBI. And they ended up, people got fired and shit, but what good is that? But besides that, I'm like, and you can't sue on that. That's a whole nother thing legal I'll talk about. But
yeah, that's awful that you're not able to have any kind of legal.
You do if they know it. And they have, there's a couple of things in the law I'll teach people. It's called deliberate indifference. I won a case here since I've been out against the state of Florida. And it was a big case, about 600,000 for a guy, because I knew how to fight the system, number one. Number two is what they did, what happened to a guy in there happened to multiple people, so they knew about it. So what was happening, they took this young kid, they took him into a broom closet, and they raped him with a broom handle, and they messed up his insides and everything,
Awful.
And you might have to blur that word, but we know the game there. So and it was, what a shame. But me understanding the systems, I ended up getting the information of how many, what they call infractions or shots or that happened because of fights or things that were happening in the broom closet. We found out in 5 years, like 6 people were raped in that same closet, where they could have put a camera, they could have locked it. There's so many ways they could have fixed it. Mm-hmm. But they call that deliberate indifference. They didn't give a fuck. It was deliberately, they didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then we won. Once you beat deliberate indifference in the court, they settle immediately. Because can you imagine that, going to a court with a bunch of jury?
They don't want that to happen, yeah.
They don't want that. So they gave everything. But, so when I was being abused in prison, I really believe now, even looking back, it was because I wanted human interaction or human contact. They always say a guy acts out, or the kid is acting out because he wants attention. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. You wanted to feel alive. You think, no, I'm going to sit here. No, you realize that any interaction is better than none.
Yeah.
Because you go crazy. The brain is an amazing, amazing machine.
It is. I mean, yeah. And we need that human connection. I mean, from the very first man that walked on the earth, we were made to have human connection.
100% right.
Just to step back, because one thing I wanted to ask you, and I was really also fascinated with in your stories back into the jewelry store robberies. I always
Yeah.
remembered when you talked about you never had a real gun, and it just seemed like there was a part of you there that you never wanted to hurt anybody during these altercations. Did that go into your planning for, like, was that something you consciously, like, I don't want to hurt
100%.
anybody? Yeah.
100%. I never gagged anyone because I didn't want somebody to throw up and die. Consciously. Listen, it wasn't about having to have a gun. You had to have something to intimidate people to get them down and tie them up.
Right.
In fact, when the last robbery, when we were being shot, and the reason I beat my life sentence is because I didn't have a gun. And, obviously we're being shot. Wouldn't you at least turn around and shoot just to make them duck?
Yeah.
We got nothing. What are we going to shoot a BB gun at him?
Yeah,
So,
nothing.
So it wasn't about having that firearm to do damage. I wasn't going to shoot out. Listen, I knew it, and my crew knew it. If the cops surrounded that place, we're coming out. That's it. It's not a hostage situation. We weren't dumb guys. We were business people, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
We were business people in the jewelry robbery business.
Yeah.
We weren't out to hurt people. You know who hated us? It was funny because the FBI, guy's name was Matt Mullen, really nice guy. Actually, funny story, when I got caught, he comes to me and he has this big 8x10 glossy.
Mm-hmm.
As my boss, and he says, "You know him?" I said, "I don't know." No. Next picture is me, 8x10, beautiful pictures too. I remember now where they were taken from. I didn't know it at the time. It's me and Dominic next to a parking meter in front of the place.
Really?
And I go, "Oh, I go there. I grew up in the neighborhood. That's where I go." The next picture, 8x10 is me and Dominic's Jaguar. And I remember the day I was in there, and I remember where I was going. I said, drove me up to the hill. We called it the hill. It was elevated by 10 feet. Driving me to the train station up the hill. He started laughing, the guy Matt. He goes, I go, "Listen, it's not me." And I was facing life, Jason. And I goes, "It's just not me." And he goes, "You're a last of a dying breed." He goes, "A lot of respect." In fact, I think he's the one that ended up like making sure they didn't even go harder, like as much as they could have probably went. But
he was fair. He was a fair guy.
Absolutely. I have zero. Listen, people think I hate cops. I don't hate cops. I hate bad cops.
Mm-hmm.
I hate hypocrisy. I don't like and the reason the communities don't like police is because of that. Yeah. They know what they're doing, and then they arrest you for that. That's hypocrisy.
And they're probably bad gangsters in the life that you probably didn't like, that they were doing things.
Absolutely. You kidding me? They're worse than the cops. Absolutely. Yeah. I played the game, if you want to call it the street rules, the rules. We didn't hate the guys to this day. I have a lot of respect for the guy. The guy that arrested me, when I got arrested, a helicopter over the house, around through the back. Oh my God, it was a mega thing.
Yeah.
And they got me out on the curb. I got about $3,000, $4,000 in my pocket in cash, Rolex and, great shoes and jewelry. Not crazy. But I had very nice jewelry. Not some of this gaudy shit. Really, really, really. I was robbing it. What are you kidding me?
Right. You know quality when you see.
I did know quality. And what I did, I said, "Hey, can I give my money to my wife?" And sure. Even let me change my sneakers because I know I was going into prison to fight. First thing you do in prison is fight over sneakers. Still to this day. So I gave him all my stuff. He was not a bad, he didn't try to make it worse. But he got it. In fact, he said to me, he goes, "Larry," he goes, "you're the best I've ever seen do it." He goes, "And now I'm retiring." And he was looking for me for 6 years.
He got the best of the best, so he could hang it up.
Again, not to break. He said it, and he goes, he made a couple of good questions, to this day, and I try to explain it to people. He says, "Larry," he goes, "we couldn't find people to testify against you." Like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You know who hated you? The insurance companies." He goes, "They really hated you." He goes, "The people, listen, they made more." He goes, "Did you get $1.2 million out of that store?" I go, "No, about $850." He goes, he started laughing because he knows they put in for $1.2 million. They
So
still got robbed. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit.
They got
And
made
then
better off. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said to me, he goes, there are guys who do this, and then there are guys who do this because they're junkies, crackheads, or I was a businessman. And he says, why didn't you quit? You had millions of dollars. They took $6 million from me. So, why didn't you quit? You had houses, homes, limo, drivers, money. I had horses, yacht.
Yeah.
He goes, why didn't you quit? And, I really had to think about that. And I said, Matt, the high I've got off of that, and I've done every drug in the book, Jason, every drug. You name it from what is it? Angel dust to this. I've done it. I don't have a addictive personality.
Yeah.
And that's a choice. But anyway, and I teach a lot about that. And I says, the high of doing that was better than any high I ever had in my life. It's just a feeling of like winning big. It's not like, it's like hitting the lottery every time you do it. Not just the money.
Just the thrill of
figured it out. You outsmarted them. You outdid things. And of course, I should have quit. Everybody says that. I know some guys to this day who are in the drug business. And one's very big, very legit, owns multiple auto stores, like AutoZones or whatever they are. He took his drugs money, and I know him very well, and he got out in the right time. And he's legit as you can think, and it's all past. I mean, way past. And I said, that's the one person I really know who did what everybody dreams to do but can't.
Yeah.
John Gotti said this. He says, if I ever find any one of this crew with a 401k, I'm going to kill them.
Oh, yeah. So you're planning on getting out one day if you got a 401k.
That means you care more about what's going on than what the life we lived. And I wasn't a made man because I couldn't be, but I made a lot of money for a lot of people. And let's face it, money talks, bullshit walks.
Oh, yeah.
I was making so much money for people. They protected me in a lot of ways. When you're bringing envelopes of 50 grand, 30 grand, cash, bang. Yeah. Hey, kid, be careful.
Yeah. And was it one of those things, Larry, where it was a certain percentage that you had to give them, or was it just, did you give over so there was no question that they're going to come back on you? Great question, Jason. There's no set thing. I set my own at 10%. And when I set that, now listen, I was getting rid of my diamonds with a different family. I had set up was really very well. When I set that up, I could have, nobody's going to over there say, but how do I know a meeting's not going to happen? They go, yeah, we gave Lawton $500,000 and I only gave him $5,000. You know what I mean? Like, wait, word gets around. Yeah. Is it worth it? Not even close. Now you're friggin' really playing with fire. Yep. Funny story. I was doing so well. Well, they used to pay me. And I got so well with the guys. The other family too. I would go down into where we did stuff, burned, melted the jewelry, the clothes were burned, incinerated. We get stuff. Well, they take out a briefcase, like a suitcase, not a briefcase. It's a big suitcase, and they take it out of a floorboard. The floorboard came up. It wasn't in a safe. And they take out this big suitcase. Like, I mean, talking travel and shit. The shit you got to check on for like overseas for a week, a month. And it's full of $100 bills. And I mean, packed. I had to be $5 million in there. Wow. Because he takes my money. They put it in a counter. You ever see the counters? Yeah, yeah. And they shoot the bill out if it's fake. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck? And because they don't want me to get caught with a bad bill and be investigated, obviously. This is not that. So they'd pay me, and I'd come up out of there. I got my money. I had a lot of money. I used to put it in a paper bag and then go to eat at Positano's or Il Catillo's, a big bowl of parsley. And I had $500,000 in a bag right next to me. Well, anyway, I go up there.
And I go to my guys that were in the car. Matter of fact, I can remember where we were parked with, because it's like Little Italy and Chinatown are the same in New York. And so we parked in a spot where you're not supposed to park. They're waiting in the car for me, the guys. And we ended up knocking over fucking fish and crazy shit. But I ended up coming up out of there and I say, hey, guys, I'm going back down. There's $5 million in that place. They're pleading with me. Please don't, Larry. I was a crazy fuck. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get these fucking $5 million. We would have got killed, of course.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it, thank God. And I'm here today.
Right.
But, and I look at that and it was just the crazy, wild life I lived. And I look at that, Jason, and I say, what made me not do that? I did other crazy shit.
Yeah.
Why didn't I? And I don't know. I always respected everybody. To this day, I respect young people, old people. There's no disrespect. I think it's just a waste. Who am I to think I'm better than anybody? And once you start judging people, he's a piece of shit. Oh, you're the greatest guy in the world?
Right.
How do you know he's not? Who am I? I never walked in their shoes. I never lived their life. Everybody has a story. Everybody.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing that I really got out of all your stories that I think I've listened to almost all of them. But
believe me, there's a lot.
If we sat down somewhere, yeah, well, I'm sure. But
we'll have a beer and I'll tell you some.
Yes,
really
I'll come down to Florida. I'd love to do that. Come see it. But it's always that feeling that you had respect for people, even when you were in the life. And I remember even like when you came to a point where you had to hurt someone or you had to, it was always about business. There was nothing ever personal about it. It was always business.
You must remember the one when I tortured the guy with the iron.
Oh yeah, that was a rough one.
It's in the book. You'll also read that. But a guy did a video on that. It's actually a video out there on that. It wasn't me. It wasn't the New York style, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't absolutely about any. I never did that. I mean, again, I often say it. I never hurt a person who wasn't in my business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt any civilian, for anything. I didn't want to hurt the people in the jewelry stores. I didn't want to hurt anybody. Now, if you were in our business, you were a drug dealer, or you were a bookie, you were doing something, you were boosting trucks, you were doing something and not paying people off like we all had to.
Yeah.
If I went on it, it was a business thing. And even then, I did only what I had to do, unless the guy really was and it took a lot for me to take it personally.
I'm sure. I mean, but once you got, let's say you were, a drug dealer, you were doing just kind of trying to make money in that life. But once you step into that, I guess you have to kind of take on that risk that if you don't pay what you're supposed to pay, or it's like you get involved in that and there's a consequence, I guess, if you mess up.
I'll tell you a great story. You know about the guy who robbed the bookie. That's that whole story with the iron.
Yeah.
The other story is I don't know if you heard about when the guy robbed the wrong bumper off a car.
Was that he was on the sidewalk, and was that the same one where you had?
No, that I broke his arm on the side on the curb. Yeah. No.
That's a different one.
Yeah, that's different. This one is the guy back in the day. Now I'm talking about the mid 80s. This is 86 because I was out of service. 86, 87. Guy robs the wrong bumper. Cadillac bumpers were like $2,000 back then. I don't know. You know the old Cadillacs with those big chrome bumpers.
Oh yeah.
$2,000 each, and people were taking them, ripping them off. That was a big thing. So this one kid rips off my immediate boss, not the big boss. He had a caddy, and people know. Come on, if you living in Brooklyn, Bensoners, you know who's who,
right?
But anyway, he robbed because the car wasn't where we were; it was on the other side of town, so to speak, Prospect Park. And the kid robs his bumper, but a lady sees him. Nothing to do, doesn't know anything. Says, "I saw this guy. Here was his plate number." Of a guy that was working on your car, did your bumper. Oh, really? We had cops on the hook, and we have the cop. That's a funny story with that cop. I told you. Did you hear that one? Blowing his brains out? Oh, you get a freak.
No, I didn't heard that one.
Oh, my God. So anyway, we get the cop. Say, hey, listen, here's a plate number. Find out who it is. It was a kid that lived, or actually it was his parents, but we knew it was a kid. It was right around the corner, not far from where we were. Over in Bensonhurst area. So I go get the kid. We get the kid. Now this kid's scared shit. He thinks we're gonna kill him. He knew he didn't know at the time. We didn't do anything. You know what we did? We made him rob bumpers for us. Now we were taking a piece of the action.
Wow, that's smart.
Well, listen, we were making money for until I don't know how long that lasted. I was gone back to Florida. I went back down to Florida then. And he was still paying off for whatever he did.
He had talent. You recognize his talent.
Really, absolutely. You know, it's to do that in the daytime. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty good. Nighttime it happened. Daytime, that's pretty good.
And from that person he was stealing, that's pretty, risky in itself.
I told you about the cop we had when I got arrested. That's a great story. We're sitting. We're in the place, in the bar. They call it a bar, but you couldn't walk in it. You know what I mean? It was a local place. You wouldn't want to walk in there.
Right.
If you can't feel it, someone's going to say you better leave. And you just better leave. So we're in the place, and we had cops, you know, like regular cop, neighborhood cop. You know, we know them. They know it. Most of them do coke. Most of them need loans and shit for, you know. So this one guy comes and says, hey, he goes, I need 300. Can you lend me 300? And I look at him. He partied and all, but he goes, it's serious. It's for uniforms. He goes, I need it because I said, sure. I give a shit, you know. So I give him the 300. He writes down Larry Florida on a piece of paper, 300. And whatever, he puts his pocket. That's it. We all partied. He partied not with us at that point, but we did, you know, so we knew him. He's a cop. He goes home that night. He's getting a blowjob from a girl, and he blows her brains out. Blows her fucking brains out, Jason. First of all, why would you do that? I mean, what happens if she chopped down?
Yeah.
I mean, it boggles my mind to this day. He comes out, he blows his brains out. He walks down the store, and he waits for the cops. They come and get him. Do you know he got off?
Really?
Mental. He ended up getting a pension from the police.
Dang. Did he ever say why he did that? Was there ever
a
reason?
I never spoke to him, never knew anything after that. But what the funny story about that is, so he does that, and guys in New York are saying, I'm in Florida. Hey, lad, man, the DTs are looking for you. DTs are detectives. He goes, the DTs are looking for you. What the fuck they looking for me for? Now you're thinking, what I do? And you've done a lot. So I'm saying, oh shit, what I do? Oh, man, it's gonna go on, man. I'm in trouble. So I call my lawyer. He goes, you know the drill, lad. He goes, call him, find out, call me, and then do that way. You know, we know the law. Even back then, criminals. So I called the DTs, and they said, hey, when you in town? I go, why do you want to know? Because we want to speak to you. What about? We'll tell you when you get here. Really? I hung on. I said, I'll call you back. Call my lawyer. He says, Larry, next time you're in town, go see him. If they're going to arrest you, they're going to arrest you. He goes, if they're going to come to Florida, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. You know what I mean? It's not like you're hiding at that many.
Right. And
so I come to New York, and sure enough, I go to the 65th precinct. I go in as some detectives, the bureau, and I tell them who I am. Boom, they come right down. They get me up. They call me Larry Florida and Crazy Larry. So I go up there, and the detective's sitting at the desk. He's looking at me. I'm like, well, do I need the lawyer? What's going on? Just let me know right now. Let's not play games. He takes the note of $300 from that cop and puts it on the table. And I start laughing. And you think this is funny? You think this is funny? A person got killed? Whoa, what the fuck are you talking to me about? He goes, he was on the take with you guys. You know, he was, but not for that. That was nothing to do with that. It was a legit thing with uniforms. I said, listen, I'm laughing because I gave him money for uniforms, and that's as fucking legit as it's going to get.
Yeah.
They ended up saying, we're going to check into this and shit. And I said, I check into all the fuck you want. I said, I was happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I had no interactions with. There's no undercover tapes. There's no somebody me doing anything with him. Like anything illegal at all.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's funny how one piece of paper, I'm like, oh, fuck, and they're looking for you. They caused me stress for about a month.
Over
I
that.
was scared. I was starting to put money aside for lawyers and this, and it was just bullshit. And I laughed because you never know when that one thing you actually did good for somebody was going to bite you in the ass.
Isn't it funny how you do a good thing, a good deed, and that's the one you get heat from?
It's hard, Jason, to really sit here and say good deeds in anything we did.
Well, yeah, that's
and we
true.
did. Don't get me wrong. We really helped a lot of people. We helped money. There were people we helped pay their rents and their electric bills. There were people But then I'm going to say, because if you're an interview, you say, yeah, but Larry, you took it from them because you hooked them on gambling, you hooked them on drugs, you hooked them on this. So there's, but then my thing is, yeah, but if I didn't do it, someone else was going to do it. We don't live in a perfect world either.
Right. Well, those are stories that you did for the neighborhood. You had the carnivals come in, and those were.
Oh my God! When I tell you, people to this day remember those. I threw that party. It was 40 cases of soda, 10 kegs of beer, 1,000 hot dogs, 1,000. It was wild, man. And people used to come up to me. Now you got to remember, a regular family, even back then, they got 3 kids, 4 kids. You think they could take them to the amusement park or Disney and a regular salary, feed them and entertain them all day? We had bounce houses. We had Barney. We had fucking clowns painting faces.
Car shows. I remember you said
car
you had a car
show. Big. We actually moved the car. One dude lived across. He wouldn't move his fucking car. He had a little like Fiat or whatever bullshit. I had 6 goons, and I mean goons, fucking lift that car and put it in front of his door. Put it in front of his door. He couldn't get out of his fucking door. He had to come out the back. He was scared to come out for the whole night. Never came out. He had to come out the back and come around and get his car. But he wouldn't. He wouldn't come out because I ain't moving nothing. There's no permit. Permit? The mayor. I'm the godfather of the mayor's kid. The fucking mayor's sitting here. Fucking fireworks. Fucking we got Porta-John. No fucking permits. I look back at this shit and say, holy shit, what we got away with, man.
Oh.
But the neighborhood, and you should have seen that even people could afford it. So like, I got to donate something to you. I said, there's zero coming. Don't give me I got nice cards from people that send. I said, I don't want money. I do this for my kids and the neighborhood. And my neighborhood really stuck by me. 2 kids you're going to hear from soon. They're doing very well. They live next to me, and they used to come and clean up after parties and bartend. They were 16 years old kids, 15, 16 years old. Now they're 40, whatever they are, and they are great kids. They own businesses, and they said, one kid gave me a great comment, not just the other day. He said, Larry, you shaped my life, and I'm so thankful because his parents were pretty broken marriage kind of deal, and and I was that stability of him, not only making a few bucks. I would make sure you don't fucking do drugs, kid. I'll fucking break your fucking hands, And it was just that way. And to this day, they'll tell you, I'm gonna bring them on, and they said they'll come on too. And they were just good kids, and I'm so happy to see that they were doing great. When I got arrested, they're gonna tell that story. Our whole neighborhood was freaked because nobody knew exactly what I did.
Yeah.
They knew I was a gangster. They didn't know I was the biggest jewel robber in the country.
Right.
And when the helicopter, they shut the place down. And this is 5 o'clock on a Monday. They shut the streets down. Did you know they didn't even tell the local police because I had them in my pocket.
Oh, wow.
Oh, totally. We corrupted the whole city. I bought 2. That's a story. But they wouldn't even tell. Not one local person was there because they knew I had the cops in the bag. So I would have known they were coming. And they came with FBI, DEA, marshals, and they fucking just said, and they were all great. I got to say that.
Yeah.
They got me. It was a game, if you want to call it that. And because they knew, we put our own police chief in. It was just crazy what we did in that city.
Was there ever when that day came and they stormed the house, and was there ever a feeling of I don't want to call it relief, but did you
Yes,
ever
I was going to say that.
yeah, like, oh, this is over now. Like, did you walk around like there had to be a sense of anxiety if anybody, like, you thought a car was following you or something weird was going on? You thought, oh my gosh, are they close? Or there had to be that.
Yes. Oh, totally. Once, not originally. My first thought was get bail and run. Gone. I'll figure it out after that. We'll try to put up $500,000. My dad tried to put up $500,000 in the house, everything. They wouldn't do shit. Once I almost got bail. That's funny. But when I was thinking, I'm gone. I am jumping. I'm going to South America. I'll fucking rob more. Do this. You're not rational.
Yeah.
And then once you're in there and you realize, and it takes a long time to say, it's weird because you do feel this feeling of, but the bad part is that when you start to think of how long you're going to be in there, and when in the beginning I'm facing life. So, but when I got 4 12-year sentences, I was the happiest dude in the world. Literally. What? I'm not going for life? And I got lucky because of the people who were around me, and I get that visit. I told you I don't know if you know that story. I was in jail, and my lawyer tries to fuck me, calls my wife at the time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story, yeah.
And boy, I says...
Really got you hot that he reached out to her.
Says, I need another 50, because it's in the newspapers. I need another 50,000. Larry's going away for life if I don't get... What? When she called me, I called on the phone, prison phone, crying and crying and crying. And I said, I go fucking ballistic. And I literally go into my fucking counselor's office and make the call to the lawyer. I says, you motherfucker, if I get out, I'm going to kill you. You fucking better give her money. She gave money back. And I think 40,000 or 30, whatever it was. I think he charged 15. Whatever. I gave the fucking money back. And I said, I'll kill you. Fuck you. Call my wife. The counselor's sitting here listening to this whole shit. He didn't know what the fuck is going on. It's not a recorded call, though. That's why you get a lawyer call. It's called a legal call. So, and I didn't give a shit. I was, and that is when I learned what piece of shit most lawyers are. Because what do? They call them sharks because they feed on the injured, the weak.
Yeah.
They don't go in. They're feeding on a person who is, what are you going to do?
Right. I got you.
I was lucky to have the connections. And at that time when I fired him, I get a visit. I think I told you, if you know this, I get a visit from a wise guy, but it was sent to me, and he can't be my lawyer, of course, because of other people. And he says, hey, Larry, he goes, I'm here. I'm sent by your friends, and I knew who he meant. And so we're in the visiting room, and he goes, I got good news and bad news. Because you're going away for a long time. Oh, fuck. What's the fucking good news?
Yeah, right.
You're not getting life. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, you're a BB gun. You used a BB gun. I'm like, what? He goes, you used a BB gun. I'm not knowing that at this time. He goes, I want you to go to the law library. So it clicked me to the law, too. So I want you to go to the law library, and I want you to know everything you can about 924C. It's the gun charge. It's 18 U.S.C. 924C and D and a bunch of numbers. And I did, and that's what got me into the law to begin with. And then that saved my life. Without that, I'm not sitting here talking to you. Not even close.
How many years total did you end up serving?
I was there for 11 straight years.
11 years. With the gun thing, that it takes me back to, and talking about MacGyver stuff, people may think that when you are robbing a jewelry store, it's like, oh, that looks like a good one, and you jump out. Talk about a little bit about the planning that goes into these things. I remember one story that fascinated me where you were down in Florida, or maybe, I think it was maybe Daytona, and you found a condo that no one was in it, and you took on his name and had business cards printed up. Yeah, that was amazing.
That store, I got 800,000. I think at a store Daytona. And it was a funny story because there was a cop out in front of the place too, and we had to wait in the store for like 15 minutes. He was just bullshitting with some other store owner, and like, holy fuck, and, we don't want to get out and somebody say something. All of a sudden, the cops are right there, And so what happened was doing this jewelry store in the condos, you learn there's a lot of snowbirds in Florida. So the snowbirds put the shades up, the things up. So back then, I went into one of the buildings and I looked on the directory and I saw a number. Okay. So that apartment is boarded up. Like, not boarded up, but, has the storm shutters, the storm shutters down. Snowbird. So what do? I call that number repeatedly for 3 or 4 days, 5 days. Just keep recalling it. It's going to voicemail, I don't give a shit. Not answering, just listening. Knowing it's going to do that. I said, that's my persona. I found out who he was on the thing and made myself him. Gave him the number, had the cards made. And so when I gave him I think it was a ring and a bracelet that mega money. I said, can you clean it? You got to, and my story was, hey, I'm here from FEMA. And, they had a hurricane and I'm here to make sure. Back when I was 10 years ago, when I got married, I didn't have money. So I only bought my wife a 3/4 carat. I'm looking for about a carat and a half, 2 carats, something nice. I can afford it now. I looked good, the jewelry, or whatever. This guy's eyes are lighting up. And I know. And what does he do? He shows me the big stuff. I go, my brain is thinking, how much is in this box? Because I could tell. I would ask them 2 questions with the box. Every good jeweler wholesale has a box about that big. Looks like a card box. It's like baseball cards. And there's a little slip. It's like a paper slip. And you open it up and there's the loose stones. So you ask him, let me see a carat and a half. And he picks it right here. Let's just say the box is this big, picks it here. I say, well, how about a little bigger than that? And he goes, this way. And then I know all of these are bigger than that. Now, if he went the other way, it's a smaller box. This way, and I literally, my brain, Jason, is, oh shit. And then literally calculating that box. Literally.
Yeah.
And I said, there's $500,000. Okay, this is $250,000. Whatever it is, this is good. And I'd watch what he put in and stuff. And he was then I said, hey, can you clean? I'd love it. He goes, you got nice stuff. So he's showing me better stuff. He's trying to show me the best because he had, wow, holy shit, this guy's got good stuff. I'm going to show him shit. And I said, can you clean it? Sure. I'll come back. Here's my number, my name, my phone number. When it's done, you can give me a call or I'll be back in a few days. I got to go travel to the Central Florida, whatever it was. And he, sure. I made sure I stole that back too.
Yeah.
But because I wanted it. And so he had no clue. You know what I mean? You want to talk about people's guard down? This guy just gave me $25,000 in stuff to clean.
Wow.
And he's a sale. Sale turned into a robbery. He made money though. He's the one that went and said it was 1.2 million.
Oh, it was 800. But you were so serious about that you even went to study diamonds, right? You studied about the 3 C's. Is that what it is?
The 4 C's.
4 C's.
Yeah, I went to the GIA Institute. It's called the Gemological Institute of America. Well, I didn't go to the official class. There were 4 guys. There was me and 3 others that actually did this class. We paid $10,000 each.
Wow.
To a private guy. It was in the diamond. People think the Diamond Exchange is on 47th Street in New York. It's not. That's where the suckers go, we call it. Down in Little Italy in Chinatown, underneath there's a belly of melters and infernies and so much jewelry shit going on down there. Wow. It comes from Antwerp. It comes from De Beers in Africa, the Antwerp, Israel, then there. And so I said, wait a minute. I need to go to something. I got to learn more. I'm bringing it after my second load, big load. I got to know more about diamonds before I fucking keep doing this shit because I didn't know who's ripping me off.
Right?
Is it the other family or these people or what? And boy, what I learned was The jewelry business is the biggest, shadiest business there is. I don't give a fuck if you say it, because I've gotten slammed by jewelry places. They're fucking, listen, it's the biggest con. They artificially hold prices up. I can tell you how they do all this. And what is it? And did you know, Jason, are you married?
I am. Uh-huh.
The third largest purchase you will make is a diamond. You'll buy a house, you'll buy a car, and you're going to buy your wife a $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is, diamond. Because that's what they want, and that's what a society does. And it's got to be 6 months' salary and all this bullshit. And they can come up with all the crap they come up with.
Right.
And it's all bullshit, Jason. But we're going to give, here's how they do it too. Listen, we're going to sell it to you. If you want to get rid of this anytime you want, we'll pay you right for what you pay for it. Try to do that.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Not going to happen.
They might try to sell you something else. We'll give it back. The things change. It's a business, and it's the third largest purchase you're going to make. And how much research do you do?
Right.
I bet you knew a lot about your house. I bet you know a lot about your car. I do. Hey, I want to go. I buy a car. Oh man, what do you like? I'm looking at this new Lexus, right? Now I have a Lincoln and a Mercedes, and I'm looking at this Lexus, and the new SUV Lexus or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the number one. Some of my buddies, they all own shit there. So he says, "Yeah, we got it. Come on up, I'll show you." I'm researching it, doing it, knowing it, and asking people. People go to a freaking jeweler and they get sucked in by slick talking people that want to just sell you the third largest purchase you're ever going to make, and they don't go to 3 places.
No, they don't check it out.
If you go get a jewelry, if they don't have a 10-powered microscope on the counter, if they don't have a color box on the counter, leave. Leave. And I used to, Jason, it was so funny. I gotta laugh. I used to go in as this idiot that don't know anything. And I'm watching this guy try to con me. And I'm thinking, I'm going to rob this motherfucker. I don't like this place. Because he's just pissing me off. And and they screw so many people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, again, I will never justify what I did. Never. But there's a lot of people who do some shit like that they think they're great people and go to church on Sundays and do this and that.
They're robbing in their own way.
Absolutely. In a worse way.
Yeah.
Because people don't know they're robbed until they go somewhere.
Check it out.
Yeah. They find that they're in debt and they can't get rid of it and they do this. And, it's like, don't tell me you're buying this. If I got a beautiful car, yeah, I know I'm losing depreciation right off the jump. I know that. There's no bullshit here. If I pay $20,000 for a car and I know it comes off the lot at $18,000, $20,000, $19,000, or $15,000, whatever the fuck it comes off, you know it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
And you can negotiate. Like you said, you do your research and you can say, "Oh, I found this price down the street. It's cheaper. It's all
you want to do it or not?
Negotiable." Yeah. Oh, Larry, my friend, I could talk to you all day, man. I could talk. We got to do this again because there's so much more to get into. But I wanted to just end on because I think it's important. The message the message
I got a Fox thing at 4:00.
Okay, well the message you have
is good. We got time.
Yeah, we'll get it in. I've heard you say so many times, and I think it's on your shirt. There are no bad people, just bad choices. And I think that's important to teach, especially kids today. Just make good choices. I mean, how important is that in life? I mean, anything that you're doing, your whole life is 1,000 choices.
Well, a lot more than that, but I'll tell you the truth, though. There isn't a person on the planet that hasn't made bad choices and is not gonna make you, me. I still make bad choices. I still fuck up. But I try every day to do a little bit better. Try to do it. There's certain things I have my own way of judging how I'm being. I always want to interact. I try to help. I know I could be fucking mega rich if I didn't give everything away a lot. But I look at things. I have a lot of trust. I told you earlier. I don't want to ever be jaded by being burnt, and we are. But I make bad choices every day, and it could be stupid choices just because I want something quicker or more. I want to go around things, and you do it every day, and I do it every day, and your wife does it every day.
Oh yeah.
As long as you understand you're not perfect, there's only one person that's perfect, and we know that. If you believe in anything, I'm not a religious person at all. I'm a spiritual person. I've read the Bible 5 times cover to cover.
Wow.
I read the Quran 3 times cover to cover. I read the Torah, which is really the Old Testament.
Yeah.
I read all of these books and many, many books on Buddhism, and they all have a core good. Every one of them. Every one of them. In the Quran, they say, do you know what it says in the Quran? If you kill an innocent, you die a fiery death.
Mm.
Why do they kill people in the World Trade Center? Because they bastardize religion. But what does Christians do? They kill more people in the Bible. King David killed 5,000 people, killed his best fucking friend, fucked his wife, and now he's a fucking saint.
Yeah.
Listen, religion has its ways and has its good. There's no question. I watched it used. I'm very spiritual because I believe there's something better than me, higher than all of us. Do I think that guy's up there looking down saying, "Larry, don't eat that fucking fork or pig because it's a split hooves"? No, I do believe in trying to do right as much as you can. And again, a good thing was said to me when I got my honorary police officer. If your audience don't know, I'm the only ex-con recognized on the floor of the United States Congress, and the only ex-con was an honorary police officer.
Wow! Congratulations for that. That's
you didn't know
huge.
that?
I knew about the Congress, but I didn't know about the police officer. That's amazing.
Matter of fact, I got to show you. I wonder where I got my it's in the other room. I got my badge and all this shit, but I leave it in a drawer where you shit. I look at it this way, and we're all going to get second chances, and you're not going to do it alone, Jason. Yeah. I try to help, whether it's small channels, big channels. I remember coming up. I only know about YouTube for 5 years, 6 years now. I was my 6th year. I just had it yesterday, I think, because I got an email or whatever. I didn't know what YouTube was. I thought it was fixing glasses. I'm an old guy. What the fuck is it's YouTube? But I remember on the way up, so to speak, there were some creators and stuff that, they were big and million, and I'm at 50,000, 20,000, whatever. They help you. The reason I do like the community of YouTube, I think most people try to help each other because we all realize this is a big platform, man.
Yeah.
There's 8 billion people in this world, whatever, 3 billion on YouTube or whatever. There's enough people for all of us to try, and I always will do that. And I've been like, GTA's coming out next year.
Oh yeah.
So I'm being already courted by big channels like 12 million, 20 million, because they know I'm the real GTA. I mean, honestly, I was on you don't know this, I'll tell you. Don't put this in there if you can. You can say somebody. I was on the Lex Friedman show. You know that?
Heard the name, but I don't know.
He's like the top 5 podcasts. He does Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, Joe Rogan. He's a Russian guy who wears the black suit.
Oh, I do know him. Yeah. I do know him.
I did a 5.5 hour interview with him.
Wow.
About 6-8 months ago, whatever. He's not playing it until GTA comes out.
Oh, wow.
He says, Larry, you are GTA. I play the game. He goes, and I'm interviewing the Rockstar, founders of Rockstar, which is the game. And he goes, I have to tell him about you for maybe a DLS, aftermarket game or whatever. And I look at that and I say, big channels try to help people. And I look at how people treat people, period. I looked up your show and I said, okay, good. I think this guy's got something. We need more voices. We need them. I don't care. I hope people don't quit.
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing I show people is resilience, is just keep moving forward, man.
And we got to help each other. And that's what it's all about. And like you said, we can't 100%. Do it alone. I mean, there's so many people out there with so many great stories and so many great talents that, why would you want to?
Not enough people doing it.
Right.
There's not enough.
More people need to get involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And people don't get it. There is money here. Obviously, if you work hard, and obviously it's changed, but it's still there. Believe me. And I look at, but you got to love it. You got to love what you do. I got a few guys that did shows. So I have a big RV that I travel.
Right.
And I've been through Tennessee with it. And I'm gonna go back through there sometime next year, maybe this year.
Reach out
I
to
will
me
have
when
to
you
stop
do.
there. Yeah, because
tell
I
me.
have a studio in my RV as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's so we're doing. I took a hiatus because you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. You're married. I'm sure. I don't know if you have kids. And
got one. Yeah, 2024. He just got married in April. So yeah, he's growing up and out of the house and starting his life. And
good for you, man.
So
live your life now.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about that all the time.
Yep. And do it. A lot of people don't. They get into these ruts. We should do things the next thing. Wait, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Do it when you can, because you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know if you'll have it tomorrow. Yeah.
That is the truth. I mean, I'm not a doomsday guy at all. Because listen, I've died already.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens. You can't. That I take care of my mom. She's 93 years old. Smokes a pack and a half a day for 73 years.
Man, that is.
So don't tell me about what it takes to live long.
Exactly.
It's fucking genetics.
You may have got your strength from her, man. You may have gotten.
No, I didn't get that. I got my dad's genes. But it is what it is. And I just look at a lot of things, and I look at guys like us, podcasters or creators, and listen, there's always going to be something you're going to do, I'm going to do, next guy's going to do that's going to catch it and say, that's right, or that's going to help some, and you don't know who you helped. It could be one person. I get some emails and I get stuff that really makes me humbled, of course, and makes me think, keep going no matter what.
Yeah,
because I know I'm a nut. I know I'm not the traditional guy that's doing things the right way. I say it like it is.
Well, that's so great about it, is because you're you and you're honest. That we don't have enough of that in the world today. Your honesty is so. Yeah,
that's why yourself, dude. Listen. You got to put your content together, but you know what? People want to hear the vulnerabilities, if you want to call it that, or that because nobody is perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
And we all have dark secrets. We all have this so fucking one. I told a guy, I don't give a shit if you're jerking off on your fan and hanging. I don't give a fuck what you do. What you do in your own home is your own business. As long as you're not hurting people and hurting kids or anything like that. I don't give a fuck.
Do what you're.
And I shouldn't.
Yeah.
And, and as long as you look at it like that, and obviously you raise the 24-year-old, he's out of the house, you're doing good.
Yeah, he's married.
Still help my kids. My kids still want I got a 35-year-old and a 30-year-old now, and 4 grandkids.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's wild, right? I mean, and I lost my kids,
Yeah.
I went to prison. My daughter was 15 months old. I was 13. My son was just turned 7, 2 days, and they get out, he's 18.
So you had to rebuild.
You lose those lives.
Yeah.
But they respect me.
Yeah.
They respect me for what I did. Forget the money. I never looked at money like that.
Yeah.
Ever. Listen, money is just an object to do something else.
It's a tool. Yeah.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And when you treat it like that, you realize you need it and all that. But a good chief of police, the guy who gave me my badge, to this day, we're great friends. He's Mike. He's from St. Louis, Mike Force. Now the chief is a great friend, of course, but we're still all great friends. And I actually helped him doing Ferguson. And not Ferguson's, Lake St. Louis. He said to me, Larry, you're no different than me. He goes, if I had to feed my family, I would rob, I would steal, I would do what I have to do.
Yeah.
I think try every way. Yeah. I would try every way I can to do it right. Whoa. But, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. But if I have to, I have to.
Yeah.
And I understood that. I really did. I understood that.
And he's being honest with you about that, so.
Bingo. And that's why the guy is well loved. He was 25 years as a chief of police. The average tenure of a chief of police in the United States is 3.5 years. He was 25.
Wow. 25. Yeah. He's doing something right.
He's different. Wow. A great guy, man. Mike Force is his name.
Wow. Well, my friend, I love
Jason,
talking
I
to
had a
you.
great time with you.
It's an
And
honor.
I'll do it again. We come up with something. You know, you got my number.
Yeah,
I'll
please
keep
come
yours.
back because we need to talk about prison reform. We need to talk about some other things that I know it's close to your heart. So let's do
I
another
don't even
one.
know how long we've been on.
Hour and a half, I think. A little
More
bit more than an hour and a half. Hour 20 minutes or 40 minutes rather. Maybe.
Yeah, about 10 after 3, 10 after 1.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Hour 45 minutes.
Say hello to your mom for me and holler at me when you come back up to Tennessee, and let's definitely get together and stay in touch because I think we could
do me
some
a favor. Send me your email as well. So,
okay.
you know, like do something with a blast. Send me your address because I want to send you something.
That would be awesome. So kind. Thank you.
You're gonna love the box too. The boxes they're actual humidors. They have. Yeah, I'll show you one. They fucking. No, I won't. They're around, but I don't want to go way in the back and waste your time.
It'll be a surprise.
I have ashtrays and shit. I'll just send you stuff.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah, it's one of my passions, and actually, that was a great story because I fell into that, and the owners of the biggest cigar company in the world, Oliva, they put up $1.5 million to have my own cigar. Wow. I have my own cigar. I picked it. I actually been in Nicaragua a few times.
Wow.
It's amazing the process of cigars. Nicaragua's where all cigars, 78 or almost 80% of all cigars in the United States are from Nicaragua.
Wow.
Cuba's surprising. No more. Anybody says Cuba has no idea about the cigar business. I was in the field. I have a whole big platform coming out where people can learn about them, learn about anything smoking related.
Wow.
Actually. And that's a big project we got going. And when they put it, they said, and they were with me. They sponsored my shows and all, and put up. And I own my cigar.
Wow.
I blended it, so it's mild. It's very. You'll see what I mean. But
yeah,
I can give a few away. I'm gonna send you some.
Okay.
You send you a box of cigars, and you could really give a few, and you'll see. Guys, smokers, oh, that's a good cigar.
Yeah.
And it's for, you can look at crookeddiamondcigars.com and you'll see our cigars. But I'm gonna send you a bunch of shit.
Oh, so, I love that, man. You're so kind, and I encourage anybody to go onto your channel and to check out Crooked Diamond Cigars, and then everything else you're doing on the YouTube channel and different things you're breaking out into. You're all over TV now because of the Louvre and all the things that were going on with that.
I used to be just a note on that. The production companies. I just did 2 documentaries. There's a big documentary coming out next week on Discovery. Big company that talking to me about a series with me. But I've done that many times.
Yeah.
And if it's not right, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I just won't do it. But
that's smart. That's smart. That's how to do it.
I used to do a lot of TV. I was the Casey Anthony expert. I was the George Zimmer expert. All these shit. And then I got away from it because I wanted to take a break.
Yep.
And then once I told these producers I'm back, I get calls all hey,
sure.
And it's just something to keep yourself relevant, obviously.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm gonna come through Tennessee because I love to do it. I take a month or 2 and then go on the road.
Do it, man. We'll do it, and we'll hit up some good barbecue or something like that. Check out some places.
I'll have a couple of drinks. We'll go to a bar and hit it up.
Tell more stories. Larry, you're a great guy, great friend. Thank you for being on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I like meeting friends, and that's what I believe in. Jason, say best to your family, best to your wife. Keep doing what you're doing, kiddo.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Happiness Sold Separately is created and hosted by Jason Hensley and is produced by Makash Films. Narration by Lauren Gobis. If you or someone you know is in crisis and needs immediate help, call the National Mental Health Hotline at 866-903-3787. We would be honored if you would rate, share, and subscribe.
Aye, that's a good one.